Chairman.
Thank you very much. Senator Warren. Senator Scott, please.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank each of you for being here. Thank you for your service. First, I want to talk about Homestead. I'm from Florida. We watch what China's doing in Latin America. We watch what Russia's doing. We watch what Iran's doing. We know we have a Chinese spy station in Cuba. I've talked to Chairman Brown, Secretary Kendall, General Richardson about the importance of Homestead Air Force Base as from a standpoint of power projection and the need to have a flying mission. And I think all of them have agreed the importance of Homestead. So, Secretary Austin, do you believe that Homestead's important for power projection to Latin America, and should we have a flying mission there, and will we get a flying mission there?
Homestead Air Reserve Base is strategically located, and it provides valuable contributions to our efforts in the Southcom AOR. We continue to be grateful for your support for Homestead. I know that there's been questions about whether or not we're going to close Homestead, and I can tell you that that's not under consideration right now. So.
Right. Number two, China. China is elected to be our enemy. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We finally got through the NDA elimination, the federal government's ability to buy Chinese drones, but I don't personally understand how the Department of Defense would ever buy anything made in China. Specifically, Secretary Austin, do you believe that we ought to be buying Chinese LiDAR systems to use on our vehicles or Chinese computers which are connected to our top secret networks?
I do not, and I also, we will work hard and are working hard to make sure that that our supply chains are not vulnerable to manipulation by adversaries. So it's important to us to make sure that we don't have elements from our adversaries included in our weapon systems and repair parts and you name it. So this is something that we pay very, very close attention to. So.
All right. So I'll take that. If we propose things where we're going to prevent our DoD or federal government to buying Chinese products, you'll be supportive. Next, let's talk about Israel. I just got back from Israel. I met with the Prime Minister. I met with the War Cabinet. I went to the Nova Film Festival. I talked to families that lost their loved ones there. I went to a kibbutz that I'd been to in 2019 where 63 people were murdered by Hamas. Hamas was about half a mile from there. I listened to a video of a young lady that was about to be and was murdered by Hamas. I went to a house where a mother was burned alive. I went where babies were killed. It's disgusting. What I found in my conversation there is that in contrast to what some of my colleagues have said, the IDF is absolutely committed to the safety of Palestinians. They have zero interest in killing civilians, and actually they put a lot of effort into making sure that doesn't happen. My takeaway of this was that they don't understand why the Biden administration doesn't try to hold Qatar accountable. Why don't they because everybody believes that Qatar can get the hostages out today. And I met with American hostage families, and I met with some that have families alive and some that have bodies still in Gaza. There's not a lot of understanding of what the Biden administration has actually done to get our American hostages home. And then the last is that a lot of people I've talked to don't understand why the Biden administration would attack Israel for the civilian deaths, which were horrible on the humanitarian effort that was done. We're including where the kitchen program was done, where even an American was killed. At the same time, the Biden administration has done nothing to hold anybody accountable for the 13 service warriors' death at the Kabul airport, or the death of innocent Afghan family killed in a U.S. drone strike during the withdrawal. So, three questions: do you believe that we ought to demand accountability by Qatar? Should the Biden administration do more to get our hostages home? And three, why does the Biden administration demand accountability, which actually Israel did do an investigation, But to my understanding, we've never done an investigation, hold anybody accountable for the drone strike that killed an Afghan family, or done anything about the 13 service members that died at the Kabul airport.
Regarding the recovery of the hostages in Israel, this has been a priority for the United States since the very beginning. The president and all of the senior leadership have been focused on this and doing everything possible to try to get these hostages released. And that work continues. I know you've seen Director Burns go back and forth to the Middle East, working with his counterparts on this issue. We remain hopeful that we will see movement at some point in the future. But this is very, very important. Again, Hamas is responsible ultimately for the start of this war. This brutal attack on Israel and the killing of Israeli citizens and Americans was just, it's unthinkable, quite frankly. But having said that, there have been far too many civilian casualties, I think there is a way to be successful operationally and tactically, and also protect civilians. The two are not mutually exclusive, Senator, and I think we just need to see a better job in terms of being more precise and protecting the civilian population. So.
How about Qatar?
I'm sorry?
How about Qatar holding them and demanding accountability? I mean, they've got Hamas leaders living in luxury.
Yeah,
and my administration, as far as I can tell, has done nothing to hold them accountable. We have a military base.
We do have a military base here, and it is very important to us. And Qatar has done a lot to help get hostages released, and they continue that work. So I've talked to the leadership in Qatar. I know the leadership there, and I can tell you they are intensely focused on making sure that we can get hostages released as soon as possible.
Thank you, Senator Scott.